Video games offer everyone these enjoyable mixtures of visual and audio art combined with audience participation. Let's be positive for once. While a small handful try to explore inflammatory topics, the majority are just there to be fun. And one such game that heavily imbalances the fun and style over the deep philosophical meaning is Devil May Cry, where tight action combat and hordes of demons make this a bodacious, high-energy game. Like an action-adventure Doom, a break from the madness of the world's social-political misery spiral. America has gone to hell to kill the Muslims they sent there for a second time. Jesus H. Christ, Adi Shakur, that started off a little strong there, my dude. So what face is Hollywood showing us today? The "this is just entertainment for fun" face? Because that face seems to be the one they never want to show anymore, as they've forgotten their purpose is to dance, monkey, dance. Which is why poor performing Hollywood movies now dance solo, and YouTubers are throwing raves and eating their lunch. The mask they love to show is it's not about making money, it's about sending a message. And it is hard to misinterpret this one. This corruption is so systemic. It's the same in tabletop, in comics, in video games, and they are salivating as they set their predatory gazes on anime and manga. The baseline of America opening a gate to hell to bomb innocent demons sounds like the plot of Team America 2. And with an ounce of self-awareness, they should have gone full parody, not unlike a Helldivers 2 or Space King. Thing is, DMC has elements of absurdity, so it wouldn't even be a major sidestep to take it in the Metal Gear Solid Revengeance direction. The first game starts with a hot blonde busting into Dante's shop, stabbing him in the chest, trying to kill him with a motorcycle, and then saying she's not his enemy. Women. Am I right? It kneecaps itself in the same way every Hollywood project does. Because they are so upfront with their stance on social politics, you have to go into every single modern show, movie, western game, knowing that there is nothing subtle, nothing meant to question. They have a goal, they have a strict message, and when you see them saying something through their work, you know they mean it from the heart. There are times and places for trying to have some sort of deep meaning. The main problem is modern writers can only repeat propaganda and cannot turn their beliefs into subtle, thought-provoking artistry. And because they pour it on like they're reading a manifesto, it doesn't do what good thought-provoking writing does. Provoke thought. Consider the difference between reading a complex book and getting your head bashed in with a bat. Both have impact, but while anyone can both swing and ascertain the meaning of a bat coming for your skull, it takes a degree of intelligence and patience both to write and read multi-layered literature. And that is not to say that Netflix Devil May Cry is not a masterpiece, because it is not, but this is clearly one of those cases where you can get completely boondoggled by a series' first impression. You take one look and you think for yourself, well, maybe they got the art style and visuals of the franchise completely wrong, but at least when it comes to everything else that makes this IP and its character so special, they managed to match absolutely none of our expectations and bungled the entire thing. Instead of cool, bravo, awesome, stylish, this is dull, corny, bad, awful, silly goofball. This must be the Netflix special. Pick up something everyone loves, rip out everything people love about it, sew it back together with the lecturing and the interpretation by writers who openly admit they were specifically told to not play the games, then play baffled at the inevitable backlash. This is how Netflix stands apart from Disney+, the CW, Amazon, and the BBC. No, not you, Yasuke. They are all using that diversity strategy, where despite having so many different IPs and being entirely different companies, they manage to all diversely make the exact same sloppy product over and over, all the same mistakes, and diversely be completely and utterly interchangeable. Thank goodness we have grown from the racism-filled dark ages of the 1990s. Back when everything was decentralized and bigoted, that history of ours that didn't age well, when we had none of these corporate systems ensuring variety in place, and ended up with a wide breadth of products that catered to a wide variety of audiences. back when they were less interested in telling us it was bringing us together, and instead just did it naturally. When entertainment had the likes of action star Will Smith appealing to all youths, Cosby appealing to families, James Earl Jones being the most memorable voice in movie history, not because someone told you, hey, these people are diverse so you need to like them, but because people identified with and enjoyed their performances based on how good they were. Something that modern products want you to forget every time they come out with, this is the first show with a black dwarf of female color announcements. That erasure of decades of actual growth during times when it meant something. It's so good to see John Concord manage to get another role. Too bad Daw couldn't find any work. Guy's built like a bullet sponge with the mind of a slice of bread half an hour after you forget to take it out of the toaster. It's great to see my favorite Kick streamer, the Moist Critic, managed to land a gig as well. Can we start to normalize putting influencers in all the games and comics? It definitely makes things better when you stroke their egos. The main character of this cartoon is this guy. Never caught the name, but let's call him Dude Guy. Basically, he hates demons, but then he is easily manipulated to not hate demons. He swears a metric F-ton, and that's how you know the writing is really, really good. Non-stop constant profanity and zoomer pop culture references. Combat animation is fine, but there's basically no purpose behind it or the mindless exposition. Non-stop plot summarizing, they got some Netflix direction to regularly remind people what's going on as if they expect you'll be watching the show while you're looking after your 13 kids, working from home, playing gotcha on your phone at the same time. At times, this starts to feel authentic to what it would be like to play a guns-only run of the first Devil May Cry. But aside from the shallow messaging, the poor writing, the uninteresting combat, the unlikable characters, and the poor writing, the show is actually pretty good. A return to form. It fixes all the problems of the problematic game series and makes it palpable for a modern audience. I did not have to file a police report for my feelings being hurt. I felt seen. My culture was respected. And this has moved the LGBTQ movement forward 10 years. I clapped alone in my shoebox apartment I can barely afford when Dude Guy made that one stunning and brave speech. You know the one. And 20 people walked in and clapped with me. So in an adaptation of the popular Devil May Cry series, which originated in Japan and was about killing demons, what do you think the plot is? Spoiler alert, you will never see this coming. So if you don't want this ruined for you, unplug your computer right now. White men evil, Christianity bad, America corrupt, demons misunderstood. Copy-pastes of the orcs from Rings of Power, goblins from D&D, and the media literacy crowd that would immediately die if they got isekai'd into the world of Freerun. Sure, demons in Freerun's world are completely immoral monsters which exist solely to murder humans, but as a card-carrying member of the anti-racism movement, I just cannot dislike someone who is unquestionably evil as long as they look just like me. In real Devil May Cry, weak demons are the most feral. All they do is murder and rage, and only the most powerful and intelligent of demons break this. But in Netflix DMC, it's the opposite. The weak-minded demons are just people who look weird. They just want to hang out with their families, go to church, do the awful jobs that humans don't want to do. Then again, this is the same creator who made a Castlevania show and spin-off where a moping Dracula is barely a villain for a season before he dies of being tired and old, and whose wife is the most saintly character in the entire show, and that gets her sent straight to hell. Although, now that we know hell is this lovely place full of lovely people, maybe she belongs there. Alucard spends the entire third season moping in a castle before the finale is him being struggle-snuggled by incestuous twins. And Hector spends the season being a struggle-snuggle pleasure slave as a vampire's boy toy. But don't worry, they're men. So the No Permission Hollywood Shuffle is modern audience approved. Good on Castlevania, pandering to toxic femcells. Belmont takes a break in a town where for the third season in a row, his enemy is the church. You know, in a show based on a game where the Belmonts use holy water, crosses, and are all followers of God. Well, the only person who does anything is Isaac. journeying around, raising an army, and killing enemy sorcerers. What do you mean you don't know who Isaac is? Major Castlevania character. Isaac. From all of those one games, nobody even remembers the name of. No, not this ginger. Come on now, this is Hollywood. You know how much I hate those soulless redheads? He's in blackface now, which means he's now the most important character in the anime, despite originally being a villain for a single game. Hector in the show is the most pathetic man to ever exist. Someone who wants to be a slave as he bounces between masters, someone without an ounce of personality or charisma. In the game, he is the protagonist. He defeats Isaac, he thwarts the resurrection of Dracula, he fights death, and lifts a powerful curse. You would never know, Nate, never even expect that was his character after watching the show. After the third season isn't about Belmont or Alucard, the fourth and final season, the villains, who have been built up for the entire show, Isaac and his undead army. So does this villain face off against Belmont and Alucard after all this time in the final season? Of course not. Instead, he faces off against the other main villain of Camilla and her undead forces. Naturally, it's Castlevania. Of course, you'd have the two villains fighting each other after multiple seasons of zero interactions with the protagonist group, while the protagonists wander aimlessly in a subplot. This feels like a plotline that would have got you kicked out of a high school creative writing course. And instead, these writers are ruining some of the coolest franchises in all of gaming. All you need to do is look at what they did to Castlevania. That's what you have to expect from the rest of Devil May Cry. At some point, you're going to have the villains and girl boss being the entire story, though arguably that's already happened. Well, Dante, Virgil, and Nero sit around talking about their feelings and making each other cry as they clap mancheek so hard it initiates their devil triggers. Are you looking forward to Nero getting the Hector treatment? Heck, even just looking at the synopsis, this show seems to be something about Mary, which is confusing because that sounds like a lady's name, and I don't remember that happening in this show at all. Huge success. So big that just like Rings of Power, it has been renewed for the second season that was already purchased years ago and was always going to happen. Can we give this guy Doom next? Always felt those demons were misunderstood. Have Doom Guy moping with Twin, Mancubus, and Cockademon. Wonder what that mouth do after John Halo did it. Don't you want to see all your childhood video game heroes turned into shallow man-sluts to appeal to femcells and the female gaze? This is one of those adaptations that makes you wonder if DMC 2013 just hit the, well, it was always a good game status. So did you like this show as a fan? Did you enjoy it as someone who is unfamiliar with the game series? Is keeping the character personalities, visual vibe, and storylines of the games intact important for a show or movie? Let us know in the comments below.